So we're moving on with our 48 Laws of Power energy reading series. The 48 Laws of Power is a book written by Robert Greene. And today we're talking about law number 8, which is make others come to you. Use bait if necessary. And to me, this is one of the ultimate control tactics, right? This is the carrot dangling in front of the donkey. I know you've seen that image before. But these are the traps, the setups, right? When somebody can get a person to come to them, then they're in charge of the emotional environment, right? So if somebody ghosts you, for example, they may be trying to get you to run up behind them, which means that you're already in your feelings and they know this, so they're in charge. Don't take that bait, okay? If somebody doesn't want to talk to you, chances are they're going to let you know, or they are going to ghost you or cut you off in such a way where you actually know that this person is done with me, okay? But in this instance, in the context of this energy reading, people do this sometimes because they want you to chase them, right? In my opinion, if somebody were to cut me off, ghost me, that's very clear communication that they don't want to talk to me, right? I don't know. I don't have to know why. I feel like they would have told me, and eventually I'll find out. But for now, I'm going to move on with my life, right? But that's just my perspective. Take what resonates and leave the rest. But when a narcissistic, vampiristic energy uses this tactic on an empath, it's meant to deplete their energy, okay? So, for example, these are the Jezebels, the fuck boys, right? And those offers that are too good to be true. These are very practical examples of how this law is used or implemented for selfish reasons. So if an empath, for example, is weak and they're not protecting their energy and they're cut off by a narcissist, because if there's a narcissist empath dynamic, there's going to be cutting off and ghosting and fuck shit and games and all that kind of stuff being played, okay? So when the empath is weak, they're not protecting their energy, they're going to overthink the situation, and your thoughts carry a vibration. And your thoughts create your emotions. So this is how they feed. It doesn't matter if you're in the presence of that narcissist, that energy vampire or not, because they know that you're thinking about them, that you're obsessing about them if you're weak, okay? But that's why it's so important for you to know yourself. It's so important to prioritize your emotional and mental well-being. That means having healthy habits and hobbies, and focusing on self-love, focusing on your spiritual and personal development, things like that, right? But when you understand the cycle of using bait to getting people to come to you, the ghosting and all that other kind of bullshit that goes with that, when you understand how that operates, you can interrupt this cycle and not give in to the pressure. You can say, no, I'm not doing this with you. Okay? If you decide that you want to not speak to me, or if you decide that you want to do whatever you're trying to bait me to come to you, I'm not going to fall for it. I'm stronger than that. I'm better than that. Right? I love myself. I'm not going to give in to this pressure that you're trying to put on me. I return that energy back to you, right? But this could even apply to situations where you're trying to be more disciplined, right? You need to save money, or you need to stop eating so much. Maybe you're on a nutrition plan, and every time you go to the store, you buy cookies and a beer and all this other shit. You know what I mean? It's bait. Don't go down that aisle. Don't go in the bakery. If you can't handle the pressure, get rid of the weight. I used to tell my clients that all the time. You put the pressure on yourself when you purchase these things, when you go down the aisle and you know that there's bread down there, you're not supposed to have it. There's beer down there, you're not supposed to have it. Why are you going that way? Okay? Maybe you are strong enough, but don't take that chance. If you have the choice, go in another direction, okay? Anyways, if you give in to the demands of somebody else on your energy and you're not in agreement with this, then this is going to make you on some level nervous, defensive, apprehensive. All of these things lower your vibration, okay? And it disrupts your ability to trust yourself. And imagine this being done over and over and over again, right? Because remember that abuse, because that's what this is. If somebody's trying to bait you and get you to come to them and pulling on your energy, it's abuse, right? That it's gradual. Abuse is always gradual. It starts in the mind first, right? And we've already discussed how your mind creates your emotions. So after the mind creates the emotions, then the emotions create the acts of abuse and the acts of you being okay with receiving the abuse. People have to be groomed for it, right? And what's funny about this is that when it comes to this whole using bait, if necessary, if people will try to make the victim feel like they're in control, okay, when you're not, right? Just like I talked about with the grocery store situation. You might want to feel like you're in control, but if you go down that aisle, 9 times out of 10, you're going to at least think about cheating on your diet, if not outright just putting it in your buggy, okay? So don't put that pressure on yourself. Greed is another factor that plays into this law. People are lured into so many traps because they want more. More, 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 right? How do you like it? How do you like it? But, you know, more is not necessarily better. It usually isn't, okay? It's so important, too, to know yourself, to prioritize your emotional health, like I said, and to just not use people in this way. Don't bait people. Keep it real, right? I know that's easier said than done, but I feel like it all starts with boundaries and standards and self-love and being willing to be disciplined with yourself and understanding what your true needs are. Because when you know what you need, you won't be baited by what you think you might need. All right? So I hope this video was helpful for you. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.